Coming to you live from somewhere north of Marcus Sand, Wisconsin, it's the B.Andrews Radio Show. I am one of your co-hosts that is with you today because I am here, I am not there or somewhere else, and we've just returned back from Florida. I am Eric, and over on my left is one of the other co-hosts of our radio show, known as Emily. Say hi, Emily.
Marcus Sand, that's how you say that?
How did you think it was said?
I had no idea how to pronounce it.
It's Marcus Sand.
Okay, cool.
M-A-R-K-E-S.
I know how to spell it. We send books to Marcus Sand all the time.
Yeah.
I've never heard anybody pronounce it. They just give me the little pink slip that goes in the book to send it to M-A-R-K-I-S-A-N.
And you get the pink slip a lot, don't you?
No, Marcus Sand, Coloma, and...
Oh, it's a wasted joke. Pink slip.
You were my principal, and you never gave me a pink slip.
Pink slip. Okay, and over on the other side of me is one of the other producers extraordinaire and co-host manning the microphone and the computer, and that would be Kay. Say hi, Kay.
You never actually mentioned anybody as a producer previous to me, so... What?
That's what I'm saying. What? What's the problem?
You never gave What's-His-Face any credit for doing this before Karen was here?
No, I've totally changed the intro since John. We never
you
quite
didn't have
ever...
to name him.
When he was... That goes all the way back to when he was born. I mean, it's John.
You didn't have to name him.
Hey, kid, come here. Yo, you. Yeah, you know I'm talking to you.
Okay, here's a funny tidbit. In Rome, when you named twins... You named one like their name, and then you named one not them. So if
anti-them.
Yeah, anti-them. So if you named one like Ben, you would name him not Ben. So actually, it would be Ben and not Ben.
Well, for those of you that were live, it's recorded, and we'll show it a little earlier. But you missed Kay freaking out.
Oh, they didn't miss anything. They could totally rewind it if they wanted.
You can rewind it when we're done and watch Kay totally freak out because I had a 6-footed friend was crawling on me,
and by 6 foot he means legs.
And I pulled it off and I set it on the table and Kay, she about had more than a cow.
Well, the best part about that was...
ready to shoot at her. She was like,
yeah, she was practicing her taekwondo, jiu-jitsu, and all that stuff.
The best part about this is that we also realized that didn't have any audio, so it was all visual.
That's true.
That's true. That's true. The audio wasn't on the screen, so it was all... You know what? I wonder what that looks like just being visual.
Hey, we're going to have to watch it.
Yeah, now, not having any sound.
You shouldn't be guessing.
What's going on.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't be guessing, though, Dad.
Everybody, parade wave to CJ.
Wow, you guys are late. I already waved to her.
Oh.
Yeah,
so late.
I know you did, but I was waiting for Dad to actually make a statement.
There you go.
A formal statement.
I'm making a statement. Hi, CJ.
Don't give him a gavel.
There is already a problem with you slamming your coffee cups that tastes like soap, so why are you even picking it up?
Hey, Miss CJ, miss the coffee. This cup is in memory of you, so someday we got to get back up to CJ's.
Yes, I miss that place.
I really do. So anyway, today we do have a subject matter that we're going to be talking about, and what is that going to be, dear producer of extraordinaire of ours?
Taps. I may cry on this, show, but I'll be okay.
So what you're saying is we're finally doing a sad episode?
We're doing a sad episode?
Any episode can be sad if, you see it that way.
But we haven't done a sad episode. That's what we're asking. We're going to be doing a sad episode?
Sure.
Okay. Oh, no. This is because I asked you to look up taps, isn't it?
Yes, actually, I was very curious about the history of it, and it's rather short, so I decided, why don't we talk about it? So...
Oh, sorry.
I can't read it. So.
I can't read that last word. What does it say?
Debbie says it's good to know you didn't have Tourette's. That must have been what it looked like.
No, No, Dad immediately pulled a tick off him, dropped it on the table, and let it scurry around. It was doing donuts, trying to figure out where in the world it was.
It really was. I've never seen a tick that fast before. It was like...
It's because it didn't have any of the blood to weigh it down.
Is that what that was? Okay.
Oh, it was scuttling to and fro, and I was sitting there confused, like, why would you put it on the table? And Cameron's like, no!
No, what you were thinking is why is that dot moving?
No, I was like, did you? No, my first reaction was, did you seriously just pull that off of you? And why did you put it on the table? Kill it, you kill it.
Why did you let it run free?
I know, that's what I'm thinking.
Because I had to kill it. Anyway.
Well, you put your coffee down, you take your knife out, then you put it down.
Well, it wasn't going to go anywhere.
Yes, it
stab
could
you for
have.
real
You're
one.
having
Yes,
fun.
I'm going to
could
stab you
have.
for real one of these times if you keep hitting the table. We went down to Florida.
I haven't
and
hit
you
the table once.
It's just a flesh wound.
No, I'm
All right. Hi, Justin. How you doing? All right. So
you're not getting your knife back.
Our producer extraordinaire has picked the subject of taps. Why have you picked taps?
Because you asked her to look up the lyrics today.
Well,
But that doesn't mean that we were going to have to do it as a talking point subject matter. It's just something
she
I'm.
wants to talk.
Oh,
Not really.
Why'd you pick it then?
then why'd you pick it?
Well, because
And for
Memorial.
goodness sakes, if you don't quit picking it, it'll never heal.
So, as I was trying to say, Memorial Day is right around the corner. It's Monday. Yet this will come out a day later for everybody else. You know,
that's
it's
why it's a
still
sad
in the
episode.
area of Memorial Day and
Got it.
everything. And Dad has been special requested by somebody to sing
Well, you can tell Debbie.
taps. I'm sure she already knows. I'm sorry. Anyway, my brain is not working.
American Legion post.
That
Everybody,
those people.
parade wave to Justin. Hi, Justin.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so I was looking at the lyrics, and I don't like funerals in general, but sentimental things to honor
does?
people that have. It bothers me in more of a way that I can't really stand to go to funerals, but to honor those who have passed on, and especially those troops, is very something special to me, especially with my brother being in the Army, that it rather interests me. Instead of talking about music and something lighthearted, I wanted to make a note on Memorial Day. So.
All right. And we actually wrote, B.Andrews actually wrote a song about that kind of thing. Yes.
We can see you.
And so can they.
We don't like papers on the set because they make noise.
What, like this? Ow! What is wrong with you, child?
What is it wrong with me, Dad?
I don't know. I want that paper back.
You don't have Tourette's.
You will get it at the end of the show.
All right. Anyway, so we're going to talk about taps. That's we're going to talk about who wrote the song, how the song was written, the words of the song. What are we going to talk about?
It's a very short thing of how taps actually came. Not the lyric side of it, but just how it came out and how it kind of happened to come to the funeral song for the
How it became,
military.
how taps became taps.
How military adopted to use taps.
Taps was actually already a thing before the bugle took it on as drum taps, but then you'll hear it in the story of how it became
All
that.
right.
But taps
when
was already a
so
thing.
when we do that story, so how much time do we have left in this segment?
How much time do we have left? I think that's an 8. So
Those new glasses aren't working very well, are
these
they?
not
aren't
new
my new
glasses.
glasses. These are my
Oh.
old glasses.
Those are 2 years old.
That's right. Are
Yeah.
your new ones in here by any chance?
No.
Let's show the viewing audience how
No.
what you could do to a pair of glasses in one fell swoop.
No, they're not in here actually. But let you know,
Oh.
it was an accident. But both arms are now permanently removed.
She ripped
From
off
the
both
face.
arms in
Yeah,
one swoop.
both side things on her glasses were snapped completely off. So she's
It happened while watching a kid. My fault entirely, but it happened with a kid in my arm, so it was kind of hard not to do anything.
Totally.
you're giving them a lot of strange details about this story, but you're not actually telling them anything
the
about the story.
Yeah, I know. And let's just leave it at
Keep it that
There
way.
is
There
one-
was
Yeah.
a kid involved.
There was a
That's
child.
all I'm going to say.
No. And the kid did live. There you go.
They didn't die.
I'm not going to
For
say
sure.
what kid.
The
but a
glasses
kid.
died, but the kid lived.
Yes,
Okay, so
that's
there
the
we go.
important part.
So let's talk a little bit about Florida.
Should we?
Yes, we should. The reason why we have been gone for the past 2 weeks is because we have been in Florida. What?
4 minutes.
4 minutes. Okay, so we got 4 minutes to talk about Florida, or if we need to jump subjects. But I did want to ask you two ladies, so you got to go. Favorite thing in Florida that we got to do this time, or what you got to do? Favorite thing?
Friends.
Shout out.
Caitlin Lindsay.
Go ahead.
And Mo.
Say hey.
I'll be gone today, but I'll be... no.
Seriously?
In the mic.
Say hey. Give him a shout out.
Give
In
a
the
shout out
mic.
to Caitlin Lindsay in Inglewood, Florida, and her friend who actually was very friendly with us, and we all got to hang out, named Mariah. I can't think
I don't
of
know her
last
last
name.
Well, there you go. A friend was friendly. How did that happen?
Well, actually, Caitlin was the friend, and Mariah was Caitlin's friend, but we all hung out with both Caitlin and Mariah. So I'd like to think, us and Mariah became friends. But
Yes.
I
I would agree with that.
Yeah, that's a good one, Justin. Sorry, folks, read his comment. You'll get it.
I can't. I can't.
can't
I literally can't.
Justin said, I see. Oh, that word went in.
You can't even read it.
Incredible Hulk.
Incredible Hulk ripping arms off.
He
Yes.
also said someone got angry.
Yes. Angry.
We'll get her a Snickers.
Yes. So anyway, shout out to the people at Inglewood. It's my turn. Shout out to Caitlin's dad, Pastor Mike Lindsay. Basically, he was the one that made the whole trip possible. He got the nod for us to be able to stay, and we had a house to stay in the whole time while we were down there. And just Pastor Mike, it would have never have happened if you hadn't have done that for us. So thank you so much. We really appreciate it. My favorite part is your mom and I every night. It was perfect weather while we were there. Every night we got to go and watch the sunset over the Gulf of Mexico. That was just, it was a great way to spend every evening. That was just good time for your mom and I. So
Muy perfecto.
it was. But I also can't stop short and just say that we got to see my grandson, my oldest grandson, my not quite oldest grandson, and the one that was just born.
You could say we got to see the grand boys, including the
I got
newest
to try to think. I was trying to think. I got to see number 1, number 3, and number 5.
4.
4.
Dorothy's 5.
Dorothy's 5.
I thought. No,
Dorothy's,
that's right.
Dorothy's
Ooh,
5.
ooh.
Christian's 4.
Actually,
Christian's 4. Right.
Dorothy's technically 6.
That is true.
There's 3 of each.
Carson's 1. Abby's 2. Lily's 3.
Caleb
is
4.
Christian is 5. And Dorothy is 6.
So I got to see 1, 4, and 5. Oh, that sounds like perfect chords to a song. Anyway, and that was an awesome time, and it's kind of hard to compare all those nights getting to watch the sunset over the Gulf or the day we got to go catfishing with
1, 4, and 5.
with
You're,
1,
you're
4, and
pulling
5.
You're pulling your mom here.
I know,
because
but it's
your
not.
mother used to
It's
label
not
all
1,
us
4.
girls.
It's not 1, 4, and 5. It's number 1 actually. 4 and 5. We were trying to keep them out of the water.
Well, we were trying to keep 4 out of the water, and 5 was taking a nap.
Yeah. There you go. So yeah. And what did he catch? 5.
5.
Yeah,
He
got the
caught
most.
5 catfish. So your turn.
Actually, we're all out of time. No, seriously, we are all out of time.
We're all out of time?
For this segment.
We're out of time for this segment. Okay, so we'll come back in the next segment. Kay's going to start it off by telling us what her favorite part of the Florida trip was. And, hey, go out, get you a refill on your coffee, and come on back and listen to us on the B.Andrews radio show.
I didn't know I had any of the symptoms. To the best of my knowledge, I had never had a problem before. All I did was enter the coffee shop, and the lady behind the counter said, "Morning, hun." And I looked at the glass case and saw my reflection. There it was, on my face. Famliy fascia.
Famliy fascia, or smiley face, is a condition caused by feelings of uncontrollable joy, peace, or tranquility. From the labs of Pharmaceuticals Unlimited comes depression. Depression is for those who are experiencing symptoms of famliy fascia or smiley face. Other symptoms may include singing, whistling, or in rare cases, skipping. Not all smiling is related to famliy fascia. Seeing others knocked down or in pain might also lead to smiling. Ask your doctor about the difference. Depression is the first truly green drug, as we have used recycled cyanide, mercury, DDT, and a dash of sodium chloride. Using depression can help you lessen your carbon footprint on the planet.
Once I started taking depression, I felt so bad, I didn't have anything to smile about.
85% of those taking depression in lab trials experienced lung failure, kidney failure, liver failure, death, and death-like symptoms. While taking depression, do not come into contact with sunlight or be around uplifting people, and this may hamper the depressing effects of the drug. If you continue to have uncontrollable feelings of joy, peace, and tranquility while taking depression, contact your doctor right away, as this might be a sign of deeper psychosis.
Depression took the smile right off my face.
If you're struggling with famliy fascia, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's an oncoming train.
Depression is not recommended by anyone and is not in stores. Depression is solely a medical product of Pharmaceuticals Unlimited and is presented by the AVLIB Council. Ask your doctor about depression.
Welcome back to the second segment of the B.Andrews radio show. Having a lot of fun with the folks who were watching live. What are you laughing about, child?
I'm laughing and annoyed. You can't face us to speak into your mic. You have to speak to the mic. I'm sorry.
Hello, microphone. How are you?
You're also dropping your voice when you end up doing that. Please don't touch the table.
You look so bald and smooth. You
really? Because I look... okay.
Anyway, as we left you in the first segment of the B.Andrews radio show, we were talking about coming back from Florida. And by the way, thank you, everybody, for being patient with us and giving us the time to slip away. But we talked about Emily having her shout out and her time with her peeps and the good time that I had with the friends that we have made down there. Okay, it's your turn.
Crap.
Your favorite part of our Florida trip.
Crap.
Crap?
Is that?
Were there exotic bathrooms I did not know of?
I don't remember stopping by a casino.
Yeah, it's called a portal potty.
You go in and you have no idea where it's going to take you.
Oh.
Yeah, I do.
Like
Never mind.
Nothing like dumping you in another dimension.
All right. So anyway, Kay, favorite part?
Again, I really like Florida over the years that we've traveled down there, and we've made many a friend and awesome people that we've met. I've not just fallen in love with the people there. No, I haven't just fallen in love with the state. I've fallen in love with the people there. It's just a different mentality of life, and everything just seems to change. So I'm not really can't pick out a favorite. I can tell you what I didn't like.
Oh,
but I
tell.
can't. People.
What?
My favorite part was people. Your least favorite part was people.
No. I mean, I love the friends, and I just don't like socializing with people I don't know. Like the trips to Walmart and stuff with awkwardness.
You mean like that
Who
Debbie on the
made
pier?
you- Who made you socialize with people that you did not know?
It's not the fact that I'm socializing with them, the fact that we're in a social environment around them.
Okay.
Hey, you asked.
I'm lost. But that's okay.
But then again, that's just everyday life.
So did you
Lost.
me being lost or you being lost?
Nah, it works either way.
You.
Okay.
Totally you.
So the beach was good. But the problem was there was other people on the beach?
Yes. Very much so.
Okay, well,
she
you
wants
picked it
the
up.
coastline to herself.
Yes.
Can you blame her?
No.
Yes.
Nobody can blame me.
Come on.
Okay, everybody can blame me, but that's why I only went about a mile. I'll be fine as long as I don't see you. I don't care.
All right. So, but the beach was your favorite part then?
Every part was the favorite part. I love Florida.
got shark's teeth.
Yeah.
And
That
then
is
there's
true.
that.
There is a beach that we have been to before. We went back to. We haven't been there for the past couple of times. We haven't been to the beach. You remember the name of it?
Blind
Minnesota.
Pass.
It's Blind Pass, but I thought it was
Blind
on
Pass.
Manasota
It's
Keys.
on Manasota Keys,
we were
but
on
it's
Manasota
specifically
Keys.
called Blind Pass.
That's the name of the beach. And one of the things that you can do at that beach is if you go sifting through the shells and the things that wash up, there is quite an extraordinary amount of shark's teeth.
And actually, there's so many of them, and over the years that you can find literally just the root or just the actual tooth part, or you can just find little tiny black specks that were shark's teeth, but have been broken down over the time with the sand and the shells. And you know, it's really pretty because instead of normal beaches just being like tan and lighter colors with the seashells, it has these black speckles in it, and it's really cool.
Well, yeah, because that bay area is where the sharks are when they're babies, and so they shed their teeth when they grow up. So that's why you get really little ones, which are black.
They shed their teeth?
Oh, they lose their teeth annually because
Yes.
they
No.
they have
Losing a
rows
tooth
of
is
teeth.
one thing.
No.
Shedding teeth?
They do actually
do with
shed
skin?
teeth. They are constantly growing in and out. I don't know
Yeah,
if
they're
it's with
constantly
all
growing their
shark.
teeth.
I don't know
Right.
if it's all shark teeth, but it is especially in great whites. Do they shed them?
They don't
all year
shed
round.
teeth.
Yeah, it's
No,
like
they
shedding
don't.
hair.
When they pop out annually, I refer to it as shedding.
I think they do it more than annually.
No,
but anyway.
they're constantly growing, so it's
So one of
just
the
a
cool
constant
things-
thing.
So that's why you get the little ones, and you shift through the sand, and you have to really look because they're
Shift
the
through the
little ones.
sand.
Because once they get big enough, they go out so far that you don't really get the teeth that
as
I
much.
was going to say
yes.
chic. The teeth that wash up on shore. You just get the baby ones because they're further. You know,
They're further out. They
they're
take
further
longer to come in, and by the time they do come in, I bet they're probably broken down most of the time.
So one of the cool things that the beach did down there is they collected lots of the shark teeth, and they had just put in new sidewalks, and so they embedded the shark's teeth in the sidewalk. So when you walk on the
Yeah.
concrete sidewalk around the beach house now, there's shark's teeth that are embedded in the top of it. Took a picture of it, so you know what? We'll put that picture up on the B.Andrews radio show page so
Facebook
that people can see that. Anyway, you got one more thing? I see that one more finger up. One more.
Actually, I'm segueing into what we're going to be talking about
Oh,
today.
okay. Well, I thought I was going to segue,
How
but
do
if you want to.
Go
How do
for
you
it.
segue to taps from shark's teeth?
I don't know. Since I was going to do it, but I want to see her do this. Go ahead, segue.
Just as taps not require. That's not what I'm trying to say.
We're working
Just
on this
as-
segue now.
Yes, just as
Okay.
taps distinguish.
Lean forward, and it will take you somewhere.
Well, if you shut up, I'll
Well, if
get
you
there
lean
by
back, you'll go
myself.
somewhere too. You just won't see where it is.
See
Just
me
as
roll
sharks-
on my
Okay, yeah. No,
Segway.
never mind. You can
Okay, go
totally
ahead.
do it. Nope,
Nope.
you're doing it.
Good.
No.
So while we were down there, we got a phone call, and the phone call asked because of the way that things are opening up in the state. And by the way, that was a beautiful thing that when we got there, the state was opening up. The state of Florida.
We got to eat in a restaurant. It was nice.
We got to eat in a
I
restaurant.
haven't done that for a month.
Yeah. And at 25% capacity, the restaurant was pretty empty when we went in.
Oh, it was dead. We were sitting outside.
And there was quite a line waiting outside.
Oh, yeah. Everybody wanted to get in, but they're like, only so many at a time. And I think several people gave up and left.
Yes, because you had to have reservations to get in.
Yeah.
Okay. So people we were with, they made those reservations. But got a phone call because they're anticipating the same thing here in Wisconsin. And we're supposed to be dead through the 26th, which is the day after Memorial Day.
We're having a resurrection?
Yes, we are, because the state of Wisconsin State Supreme Court found that the governor's action was unconstitutional. Well, now people are springing into action. And so the local American Legion gave me a call and said, the schools are out, can't get a hold of the bands, but wanted to know if I would sing taps. And the gentleman who's the head of it, Billy Johnston, he asked me, have you ever heard or did you know that there were words to taps? And I said, yes, I was aware of it. Never sung it myself, but I was aware of that. So I asked Kay over here, Kay, would you hunt down the words for me? And she said, sure. So this is...
That's how you interpret that?
Well,
I was going to offer to do it because I was going to be at the library today to help sort through our stuff.
No, I asked her if she would grab the words for me, and so today's show is bred out of the idea. It's spawned. It's bred. It's got another word for me?
No, because those all sound gross.
Gross?
Yes.
Spawning isn't gross.
Usually when you say spawn or bred, you're talking about a horror movie like The Spawn of Satan, or they've bred mutants to overtake the city.
It means to give birth, to be born, to come new.
To slither out of the womb. Okay, it sounds creepy.
When you put it that way, yes.
Anyway, it bred, it spawned, it birthed.
It came about.
It came about. Okay.
Birthed.
It birthed.
Like Burfa?
Yeah, kind of like Burfa. And so Kay had another thought in mind. That's the last thing she told me this morning. Hey, this is what we're going to do. I come home and she said, you know what? We're going to do something else. And so tell us what came out of this.
What ended up coming of it was I like history. Sure enough, whenever something interests me enough, I just look it up and learn about it. And when doing so, I'm just like, hey, well, what about it? So I look it up, and
what about it?
I was moved by it, and I thought, well, instead of doing the original topic, which we will do next week, still there, how about we do taps? It's Memorial Day. How about we do something to show and let you guys know we here in this family stand in honor for our military and our troops. So, for those who are to come and for those who have passed and that are still in.
We stand our American soldiers.
Okay.
It's a meme thing to say you stand something. It means you approve of. You'd stand up for them.
There's no
stand
really
for.
explaining.
Yeah.
There's really no explaining meme culture at this rate. You just kind
No,
of
it's
dive
not.
into it.
So
There's
do we
not.
have enough time to go ahead and launch into the history of
No.
it? No, we don't. Okay. So how much time do we have?
We have a minute.
We have 1 minute. So you know what? Let's just go ahead and break early. And we'll buy time on the other side. Get your cup filled up. And we're going to talk about the history of taps when we come back here on the B.Andrews Radio Show. So just join us at the B.Andrews Radio Group. Come over and follow us at the B.Andrews Radio Group on the Facebook page. And when you do, we'll speak your language. All right, Swine Team 1, here's your mission. Go to your computers and type in castbox.fm. Again, that's castbox.fm. And when you get there, then you go to B.Andrews Radio Show. Let me repeat that just in case you didn't get it. The B.Andrews Radio Show. And I want you to obtain all the information that you find on that page. Welcome back to the third segment of the B.Andrews Radio Show, where we are going to learn about the history of the song known as Taps. Now, Taps, for everybody, is that song, just so we got everybody on the same page, that if you go to the memorialization of somebody who served in our military or even on the police force, that's that song that you hear played. It should be played on a bugle. It's supposed to be played on a bugle. A lot of times, though, because of the band that's there, you're going to hear it played on a trumpet. And it's that song that goes da da da. Now a lot of people know the tune.
Because you'll probably also hear it on a show you've probably seen. And for those of our listening audience who we know aren't in America, I don't know if they do this abroad, but we all do it. We do it.
It's
in
very
America.
much it's an American custom.
It's just an American. Yeah. So we it's like I don't know if other people do it. I've never been outside the country.
So yeah, it's the song that's played in memorial of a fallen soldier or someone who has served. They will also do it for police officers, firemen, and so forth here here in the United States. But there are also words that are into. Are you going to talk about the words too?
No.
Oh, just the song?
Just the history
melody.
of the song.
Just
yes.
the melody. Okay. So here is Kay's going to give us the history of the song Taps, or the melody of the song.
No interrupting. I will mute your mic. Okay.
Was that a threat?
Very
was a
much so.
promise.
It was a promise. Oh, okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you The History of Taps by Kay.
I went to history.com to find it, and the wonderful lady who wrote this, her name is Elizabeth Nix, and I want to say thank you. She summarized it very well, and it made it super condensed, so it's not too lengthy. So, the origin of taps. The distinctive bugle melody played at the U.S. military funerals and memorials and as light-out signals to soldiers at night date back to the American Civil War. In July 1862, U.S. General Daniel Butterfield and his brigade were camped at Harrison's Landing in Virginia, recuperating after the 7-day battle near Richmond. Dissatisfied with the standard bugle call employed by the Army to indicate to troops it was time to go to sleep, and thinking the call should sound more melodious, Butterfield reworked an existing bugle call used to signal the end of the day. And after he had his brigade bugler, Private Oliver Wilcock, Norton played it for the men. The bugler, I can't say that properly. Buglers from other units became interested in the 24-note tune, and it quickly spread throughout the Army and even caught on with the Confederates. Not long after Butterfield created Taps, it was played for the first time at a military funeral for the Union cannoneer.
You said that right the first time.
Killed in action, the man's commanding officer, Captain John Tidball, decided the bugle call would be safer than the traditional firing of 3 rifle volleys over the soldier's grave, a move which couldn't be confused by the nearby enemy as an attack. As for the name Taps, the most likely explanation is that it comes from the fact that prior to Butterfield's bugle call, the lights out call was followed by 3 drum beats dubbed the drum taps, as well as the taps, and simply taps. When Butterfield's call replaced the drum beats, soldiers referred to it as taps. Although this was an unofficial moniker, according to historian and bugle expert Jerry
Villanova.
Thank you. Jerry Villanova. He notes that Butterfield's bugle call was officially known as the extinguishing lights, and American military manuals until 1891. Since that time, taps also has been formally recognized as a part of the U.S. military funerals.
Very good. So, this is do me a favor.
Mm-hmm.
When we close this show today, let's close it by playing. If you can find a rendition of the taps, let's close the show by playing that. And because here's something that maybe a lot of people don't know. If you've ever been on a military base, day starts by playing a certain bugle song. Does anybody know what song that is?
Reveille?
Reveille, that's it. And Reveille opens up the day. And
I had to live on a base for I wasn't on base, but we went on base quite frequently for, how long was I down there for? I was
you were down
2
there
or
for
3
about
months.
2.5 months.
2.5 months, yeah.
Yeah.
And then when day is over and at the lowering of the flag, the actual work day is over, there is another song that is played on base. And all the soldiers, doesn't matter where you are, what's going on, when that song is played on base, you are to stop and stand at attention, facing a flag,
the nearest
flag to you,
and you either salute it, or if you're a civilian on base, then you put your hand over your heart.
Yeah, and that is what you are required to do. And so after you do that, you then when it's done, then you break and go back to what you were doing. Taps in this case, or the extinguishing of lights, is actually later than that. It is what is done when the sun is going down and you turn out the lights at night for the
It said that.
Right. I'm just repeating that. So it's an additional song. The other song is played, Reveille is played when the flag is raised, first time of the day. And I forget the name of the other song. End of Day is what it's referred to as. And that's when the flag is lowered at the end of day. And that's why everybody stops and stands at attention, because Old Glory is going up and Old Glory is coming down. And so in honor of our flag, and that happens on all of our bases all over the world. But taps is what is played before the lights go out. So the flag is down. And so what the song is about is remembering the people who have served and have gone on for the day. It's the last thing that all soldiers are supposed to do, is to remember. And then that's why it got pulled over to the funerals, as you read, because we're remembering those soldiers, and before they are laid to rest in the ground, we play that song again. And there's a couple of things. I've had my talk with old timers. And there's two things that old-timers will tell you that for some reason it's a very eerie sound to them. It's things that we don't hear in modern day. And these two things are very, very eerie sounds to them, and a lot of times will just either send a chill or for some of them even make them cry. The first one is the whistle on a train. Now, we're going way, way back, because how many of us nowadays, trains have those great big air horns that's before they cross a thing. But we're going back to the steam engines, and when they would hear it, that whoo, whoo, and I've heard many of real older people say that is one of the loneliest sounds, because it either meant that you had somebody, you put them on the train and they're leaving you, or because trains used to be the mode of transportation in the United States, or one's coming in and the anticipation, you hope that a loved one would be on that train, but if they weren't, and it's one of the saddest sounds.
Oh, news didn't get around very easily back then.
Correct.
So sometimes you didn't know if your family came home after the war until, you could see them.
Right. And so that sound of that whistle was tremendous. And then the other one was the sound of taps. Because when you heard taps playing, it meant somebody was being laid to rest. And so, I've asked that question before, and it has come up in conversation with some really old people. And I have heard that very, very frequently, that two of the most eerie sounds or loneliest sounds, they will tell you, is to the sound of a steam train whistle or hearing taps played. And I, as a minister, one of the things that I get to do, and it's an honor to do, I'm asked by a local funeral home here, if people do not have a pastor, they will call me to do a lot of memorial services. And I have done quite a few for our men here in this area over the past 18 years. When I say quite a few, I didn't count. I've done almost 100 memorial services in the last 18 years here in Hancock. And I don't know how many of those have been with people who were in the military, but I do know this. I've done so many that I've become friends with the American Legion Post, which is why Billy Johnston from the American Legion Post called me and asked me if we can't get a trumpet player, would you at least consider singing it? And I've sat there and I've listened to taps being played, and it is heart-wrenching. It's very heart-wrenching.
It makes me cry every time.
Yeah, it's incredibly melodious. Well, anyway, this is a good spot to take a break and go get that refill. We'll come back and do the fourth segment of the B.Andrews radio show, and we'll have a little good news.
If you'd like to hear more of the B.Andrews radio show, visit us at our YouTube channel at B.Andrews Band. Hit the subscribe button if you'd like to hear more from us, and to stay updated, hit the bell. Remember, at YouTube at B.Andrews Band.
Are you kidding me? He's as blind as a 7-year bat.
Hey, Emily, want to see me pull an armadillo out of my shoe?
Not this trick again.
Nothing up my pant leg? Whoosh! Presto! Un gran gato negro en mis pantalones.
Welcome back to the B.Andrews radio show.
Welcome back to the fourth and final segment of the B.Andrews radio show, and we're so glad that you have joined with us. And we were talking about things that might get a little heavy. We love being jovial here, but every now and then we got to get a little serious. But so talking about taps kind of felt like it was getting a little serious there for just a minute. But we do want to share with you some good news.
Well, you know, it's time for a little good news. And let the sun shine through for me and you with some good news.
Today's good news story comes from the Good News Network, written by McKinley Corbley. A devoted Tennessee dad went above and beyond the call of duty in order to host a proper commencement ceremony for his daughter. After years of working towards her bachelor's degree in public health science, Gabrielle Pierce was devastated when she learned that she would not be able to walk across the stage to receive her diploma like she had always dreamed of. Although Pierce graduated from the Xavier University of Louisiana in December, the school only hosts one commencement ceremony every year, so Pierce spent months waiting for her chance to walk. When Pierce received an email from the university mid-March about how their ceremony would be canceled amidst the COVID-19 shutdowns, she told CNN that she had been crying over the news for 1 week straight. Pierce wasn't the only one heartbroken by the cancellation. Her father, Torrance Burson, could hardly bear to see his daughter so sad. Rather than accept his daughter's dreams as forfeit, however, Burson became determined to host his own commencement ceremony for Pierce at their home in Memphis. Over the course of just 6 weeks, Burson managed to reserve a photographer, stage, and podium without his daughter's knowledge. When the big day finally came, Pierce was shocked to find a full-size stage waiting for her in her front yard. There were 40 people in attendance, all sitting 6 feet apart, and her father even played pomp and circumstance as she walked to get her diploma. Gabrielle never saw anything until she came out, Burson told CNN. At that moment, I didn't have any worries. I was speechless. To see my baby walk across the stage and all her friends, family, neighbors, and people that we don't even know who stopped in the street to witness this, I couldn't ask for anything better. Burson's next-door neighbor, Delandrian Todd, praised the father for the heartwarming initiative and a series of Facebook photos which have since been shared hundreds of times across social media. My next-door neighbor's daughter couldn't have her official graduation due to the pandemic, so he created one for her, he wrote. Now that's a great, proud father for you. He made it happen.
I have a question. How big is this guy's front yard?
Oh, you want to see a picture?
I mean, kind of, yeah.
Here.
How how big is it that it can have a full-size stage?
It's a decent yard, but it's not a full-sized stage. Think like...
It's not a stide sage?
Is it? No, it's not.
Okay, that's... Okay. He just doesn't use the yard. He also uses the driveway. Okay, that makes it... It makes a bit more sense.
Yeah.
The driveway's the driveway isn't the yard, but it's a part of the front of the house.
Part of the front of the house, but when they specifically said front yard, I was thinking just the expanse of the grass area.
It's a 12-foot entrance door, 18 feet totally across the front, 18 feet driveway. So the stage is somewhere between 16 and 18 feet wide. So that's not bad.
I thought you were going to question the Delandrian name.
Delandrian?
Yeah, it was literally Delandrion.
That would be Delandrian. Yeah, not to be confused with DeLorean.
Or the
names anymore.
Or the Mandalorian.
Yes.
I don't question names anymore. Not since I read online that somebody actually named their kid Banjo.
Amanda.
Banjo
Dad, and let's not forget Absuda.
or Shathid.
But remember, as I mentioned, John earlier, he's supposedly going to have a set of twins, and one will be Amanda,
and never forget
the other one is going to be.
But remember, the little girl is Amanda. The little boy is
the Amanda.
So
yes, John, we have never forgotten. Anyway,
and we will never let you.
And
forget.
we'll never let you forget. That is exactly right. Kudos to Dad. I kudos to Dad. But as
he hit all of that. A stage, a photographer, and what was the other one? Stage, photographer, and podium. He hit all of them.
Yeah.
I don't know where he hid them, but he hit all of them.
Did you see that garage?
The other thing, though, the thing that got me is that she didn't get to wear her cap and gown. If it was a surprise to her, she wasn't dressed for it, right?
She would have arrived on the day it was going to happen and seen it, and he's like, "We got this for you. Put this on here." It didn't make it. She in the picture.
Was there a picture? Did she have a cap and gown?
In her picture, she has on a cap and a gown and her
sweet
honors cord thing. But
yeah, because that's supposed to be a part of it is to wear your cap and gown.
Which means he would have handed it to her to put on over top of whatever she was wearing at the time.
Get ready. You're expected to walk in 5 minutes. My hair.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, think about it. If she'd graduated in December, depending on, if she was taking online classes or if just like the timing of when she finished, her credits and her degree.
And if December, it means that her last class ended halfway through the semester and she was finished. So,
right.
Yeah.
So she then had to wait all through spring for the next spring ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
And then they canceled the spring ceremony. And so now we're heading into May, and he was able to...
Technically, it's the only ceremony, apparently.
Well, since they only do one.
There's a lot of schools that just do the one.
I mean, it makes sense. Crappy for the people who finish in like fall and winter and stuff.
Well, it also makes more sense when people tell me that they graduate spring of this year or fall of this year.
Yeah,
it makes more sense when people tell me that because I'm like, okay, school.
Yeah, and it's a college thing.
Yeah,
I mean, I graduated.
It's a college thing.
I finished in February, and the graduation I was supposed to be a part of didn't happen until late May. So The only thing for me is that I could care less if I walked. It send it to me in the mail. That's good enough.
This is my proof. It's like I'm not really interested in having all those people's eyes on me either. The only people it's really important for are the very school oriented people.
Yeah,
and I'm not.
And
like if I'm going to learn what I'm going to learn, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to do it.
But she put a lot of value into that ceremony. It meant something. Her school,
it meant the complete accomplishment that this is the reward I get for doing all this work, and that I'm sure she totally appreciates the knowledge and everything along the way. But it's the final triumphant walk.
Yeah.
And it was all built up to that expectation. And when you put so much on that expectation, you do set your goals to then. And if you don't think past that, then it's just all caught up on then. And personally, to me, crying over a week is a bit much. But
Well, she
That's
put
what's
that much
important to her.
emphasis on
Yeah,
it. I
that's
mean,
what's
her
important.
emotions
what I was getting ready to say is, I mean, for I graduated, when I graduated in high school at the ripe old age of 16,
Ooh.
yeah. But it's the age is what I'm after here. It was something, you're 16 years old and it's like, I had participated in 3 graduations up to that point, being in the band, playing, seeing the pomp and circumstance, watching kids walk down, so I'd been involved in 3 at that point. Afterwards, I've been involved in several of them. And so when it came time to do an official, and I had many certificates and all that did not have any things that go along with
You were
it.
just so accomplished.
So when it came time to get the major degree, and I could have participated in another one, and being older, it's like, nah, just send it to me in the mail.
Well, for some people, the ceremony is what really makes it mean something to them because it's like showing off their accomplishment.
Yes.
And-
I have
and
no problem with that.
Neither do I.
It just hit, being older, it just kind of hit me. It's like, no, what means something is the piece of paper.
Well, I can tell you, graduating high school, I didn't really want to have like a graduation party and everything, but
We're not talking about the party. We're talking about the
ceremony.
Ceremony.
Well,
Okay.
Everything goes hand in hand for a graduation ceremony to have for the kids. Generally, what is expected for them to have the ceremony, and then each of them have their own graduation parties.
Well, I mean, you know what the whole entire party is, oh, you're graduating? Now give you some time and actual worthwhile instead of just watching you walk down the aisle and then you getting a certificate and then going hasta la vista and just ditching everything. Give me a party.
No. That's a wedding. You get married,
But that
and
also-
you're
It's
like,
hasta
I
luego.
got a bride later. Everybody, I got life to live.
that
No,
goes
the
with
graduation.
everything.
No,
goes
Dad,
with
that
everything. Let me
attitude starts at
finish.
graduation.
The graduation is, hi, I got the piece of paper. I'm throwing the party. Bring gifts. Money is accepted.
Money is preferred.
But you also do that with the wedding. Hey, money is preferred.
It is, but I'm
So
skipping town with my bride. I got
goes
things to
hand
do,
in
places to
hand.
go,
Things to see.
things to. Okay, I just about walked right into that one. Well, we're going to wrap up. We're going to wrap up our show right here and now. We'll talk about graduation when graduation time comes. But we do want to leave you with this one final thing, and that is, as Memorial Day happens or has had happen, we want you to take the time and show appreciation to those who do serve, and please remember those who have served and have given the ultimate devotion, the ultimate sacrifice, and that is laid down their lives. And so as we conclude today's show,
Let's not forget the ones that never made it home.
and the ones that never made it home. Yeah.
The unknown soldier.
And so we leave you at the end of the B.Andrews show with taps. Thank you for listening. See you next week, everybody.